Hey guys, it's Abi from Autumn of Pellinor, and today we're going to be looking over some old resolutions I made. So I found this in a notebook I ended up recycling and throwing out the rest of. I pulled out this page and it is the resolutions I was making for 2018. So this was when I was in my last year of my undergraduate degree, and I made some regular resolutions and I also made some bookish resolutions. So let's see how well I did with any of those. The regular ones were not too much of a success. I got some of them. So I had to get my degree, got that. Unhaul possessions. I've been watching stuff about like Marie Kondo for about 4 years now. Exaggerating, like 3 years, 2-3 years. So I did delete Snapchat and Twitter, got Twitter back, deleted Snapchat. It never came back. Save more money, yes. Direction to aim for in life, no. Get my yellow belt in Kung Fu, I did, I got that in 2018, and go on holiday without my school or my parents. No, big fail, still not done that. But we've now very quickly moved on to the bookish ones. I just thought I'd cover the ones in the regular section. Now for the bookish. Really narrow down my TBR. So at this time I had 3,000-4,000 books on my Goodreads TBR, which is madness. It's ridiculous. I now have, I think, 300 odd, and that includes like my physical TBR books that I own as well, which, as we all know, is in the high hundreds. Like, I don't know when this video's gonna go out, but it's over 150, definitely. So, so that's like half of it. So I've only got another half of books, and some of them are going to be sequels to ones that I already own, or books that I know I want to read like electronically or via audiobook. So I'm really happy with that. I definitely managed to narrow down my TBR both that year and consequently years since. Then limit my NetGalley requests. So I always have this problem with NetGalley where I either don't use it or I request 7 million books and then get approved for them all, and then I have to read them. I tend to forget that part, that I have to actually read the books that I've requested. Oh, it's not good. But I have done that. I've now got a pretty high approval rating on NetGalley. It's like 80+, which is what you want for NetGalley. And I haven't requested anything for a while because I know that I'm not going to read it, because this year I am focusing so wholly on my already owned TBR that I'm just kind of staying away from the NetGalley requests for now. It's not as important to me. It was really important when I first started. I felt like I needed to be reading coming up books to be included in the community, and I did find some amazing books that way that I adored. Queen of the Seven Lakes, Beneath the Surface, but I don't need to keep doing that. So I have managed to limit my requests, but that took until like the end of 2018 to do. Bookstagram once a week, and I've ticked this off, so by the end of 2018 I must have believed I'd done this. Maybe I did. I can't be asked to go and count and check. If the camera angle has shifted, it's because the battery died and I had to go charge it. So I did the dishes and made myself a brew. Can you call it a brew if it's coffee? We ran out of tea and it's sad. Anyway, back into the flow of what I was doing. So yes, Bookstagram once a week. I tend to do a few times a week. I'd like to try and get it to once a day, but I don't like posting content that isn't up to my own personal standards. So I don't want to post photos that are crap just to get something up every day, so I don't always post every single day. But I do definitely post at least once a week. Then the next one is only by already started / new loved authors. So what I mean by this is I only wanted to buy books from series that I had already started reading, or from authors that I now love that I didn't have any other books from. No. no, especially not in 2018. 2020, a little bit more. So far in 2020, the only books I've purchased for myself were some Cassandra Clare ones, and hers are all linked and I've read one book, so that's fine. That counts as series already started. And yeah, in 2020 I only bought 50 books. Only. But that was my goal, was to not buy any more than 50 books. I bought like 46 or something. And they were mainly in series that I already knew, or authors that I wanted to read from. Which is good and bad, but it wasn't like strictly to this. And in 2018 I just kept buying books. I bought so many books in 2018. So I failed that at the time, but I seem to have gotten better at it now. When you join like the book community, whether that's through making videos or posting on Instagram, posting on Twitter, or just watching everyone do all of those things, you get exposed to so many books, and you see them all in these bookshops and charity shops, and you're like, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it takes a while to kind of stop, pull yourself back, and only pick the books that are actually in your like areas, so books that you actually want to read. It does take a while. I think every booktuber I've watched where I've went back to being at the beginning of their content has done it in some amount. I've done it too. I'm slowly getting there. There are still some books on my shelves that I bought years ago that I never ended up reading because I didn't actually want to read them. It's just that they were popular and I want to get to them, and I want to either read them or unhaul them. But I am getting better at that. 3/4 books each month -40. Was that to buy or to read? That was to read, because this was a couple years into me getting back into reading. 2018 was a mad year. I read 134 books in 2018, so I surpassed that 40. So big tick. But at the time I was still getting back into reading. It had been years. I was still studying and I had stopped because of studying, because the English education system is as bullshit as America's. So I was just hoping to read a few books a month, and I managed it, so that's good. By missing from physical series, this is referring to a specific set. It's like Kathy's Ring, Kathy's Key and something else. I still don't own them. I got the second 2 books in the trilogy or series, so books 2 and 3, in America when I didn't even have a smartphone, so I didn't have Goodreads, and I didn't know that they were the second and third book in a series, so I don't own the first, so I haven't read them. I bought them when I was like 15 and I'm 23, but I don't own the first book. So no, I didn't do this, because that's kind of like, it was like a dig at that, like buying that book, and I still haven't done it. So that's a big fat fail. There are other books, like other series where I don't own the whole series yet, but that was like the main one where I was like, dude, buy it. Not bought it. And then the very last one, I never ended up doing. Or did I? Yeah, kind of. It's DNF Arcs 3 chapters test. So this was for me, because I had so many NetGalley arcs, just read 3 chapters, see if you're going to finish it or not. And I did it a little bit, I think. I remember doing it slightly, but not properly. So this is kind of like that wiggly line that's like around. Because I kind of did it, and then I didn't really need to end up doing it, and I don't do it now because I don't need to. I don't DNF as many books now. I know if I'm going to DNF a book, I've kind of honed that down. So I don't need to like specify things for myself in this sort of way where it's like, okay, every single book, see if you're going to DNF it by this point. Like I just kind of know by now. And I also now have a greater understanding of where I need to be in a book before I know whether or not I want to keep reading. It's all like very personal for me. I need to get at least 50 pages into a book to have a feeling of whether I'm going to DNF it or not, and I need to be at least 100 pages into a book to, this is all rough obviously, to then properly be into the story and be like completely engrossed. So, but that's different for everyone and differs for me book to book but I do kind of know now where I need to be, and I didn't then. So that's really interesting. And that's it. I tried to be like reasonable with my goals. It's such a neat, beautiful looking piece of paper. But yeah, I did okay. I did delete certain apps, I did read certain things, I narrowed down my TBR, I didn't go on holiday. That's still a goal. That's still a goal. I want to go on holiday. Every single holiday I have been on in my life, like every time I've went on a trip somewhere in my life, it has either been with my mum and dad, which I massively appreciate them for, or with my educational bodies, so like uni and school. I've never been without any of them. But yes, in terms of the bookish ones, it's a mixed bag, but I've grown a lot as a reader, which is really nice to know. So I don't know if you found this video interesting at all. I did, going through like my old TBR. This was kind of a bit before I was making videos as well. This was just before I was making videos, which is really interesting. So let me know in the comments if you even cared, because then I know not to do this again if you didn't. Or if you've like been able to track your actual resolutions over the years. I just thought it was interesting when I found this when I was doing a tidy. So thank you so much guys. If you want to see me anywhere else on the internet, all of my links are down in the description below. Hit subscribe if you want to see some more from me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!